All right, so let's dive right in. We're going deep today into the cryptocurrency market, early 2025 and all that. We've got market data, some interesting news analysis, expert opinions, and even a little peek into what's going on with NFTs and these AI crypto projects.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a lot to unpack there.
By the end of this, you'll have a good grasp on what's shaping crypto right now, maybe where Bitcoin's headed, and discover some other cool developments.
Yeah, it really is a fascinating time to be watching all this unfold.
Yeah.
So many factors are kind of converging and shaping the whole landscape.
Absolutely. So let's start with Bitcoin. As of today, January 13, 2025, it's sitting around $92,005,
Okay.
down about 3% from yesterday's close.
Yeah, we're seeing that broader crypto downturn right now. It's not just Bitcoin.
Right, and there are a few key things kind of contributing to this. First, those stronger than expected U.S. employment numbers got people a little worried. Think the Fed might keep interest rates higher for longer.
Exactly. And that, has implications for all risk assets, crypto included. When safer investments are offering higher returns, it can pull that capital away from, the riskier stuff like crypto. Needs to price drops.
Makes sense. Then there's this whole thing with the court approval for the U.S. Department of Justice. They're going to sell a whopping 69,370 Bitcoins, something like $6.5 billion worth seized from the Silk Road marketplace.
Wow.
Talk about a whale coming onto the market.
Yeah, that introduces so much uncertainty, And the market doesn't like uncertainty. This is no different.
Adds to the volatility for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of things that might be spooking investors, can't forget Jamie Dimon, CEO of JPMorgan Chase. He's been pretty vocal about his criticism of Bitcoin.
Right.
He recently doubled down on his stance, saying Bitcoin is mainly used for illegal activities. Kind of makes you wonder how much a statement like that coming from someone like him actually impacts investor sentiment.
Well, Dimon's influence is hard to deny. He's a major player in finance. His skepticism can definitely create hesitancy, especially for these institutional investors who might be dipping their toes into crypto. It's interesting how his views contrast with the growing number of institutions who are actually embracing Bitcoin, though.
Yeah, it's like this clash between old school finance and this new disruptive force.
No.
So we've got these negative pressures impacting Bitcoin's price, but here's where it gets really interesting. Despite the downturn, Bitcoin exchange reserves are dwindling. They're at a near 7-year low.
Yeah, and that tells a different story. It suggests that despite the dip, these bigger players like crypto hedge funds are seeing this as a buying opportunity. They're accumulating Bitcoin, reducing the supply on exchanges.
So we got this push and pull. The price is down, but these big players are scooping up Bitcoin at a discount. What happens when this shrinking supply meets continued demand? Could we be looking at a price rally?
It's definitely possible.
Hmm?
Basic economics tells us that when supply goes down and demand stays steady or increases, prices go up. This could be one of those supply shock situations, potentially push Bitcoin's price upwards.
Okay, so there's a case for Bitcoin bouncing back. But if that's true, why is it struggling to break back above $100,000?
Well, one key factor is the trading volume. It's relatively low right now, indicates a lack of real momentum. It's almost like the market's just waiting for a clear signal before making a big move. We're seeing sentiment stabilize a bit, but traders are still hesitant.
Makes sense. And of course, there's the incoming Trump administration. Some books believe his stance on crypto. Remember those statements about creating a national Bitcoin reserve and keeping those seized cryptocurrencies? Could be really good for the market.
It's definitely a hot topic.
Yeah.
He actually implements those proposals. They could drive serious demand for Bitcoin. Imagine the impact if the U.S., a global economic powerhouse, officially embraced Bitcoin. Could be a domino effect, influence other nations, and maybe even lead to wider mainstream adoption.
So Bitcoin's facing some headwinds, but there are also these potential catalysts that could really send it soaring. It's a fascinating time for Bitcoin, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. It just goes to show how connected the crypto market is with global economics and politics. Can't really analyze one without considering the other.
So we've covered a lot on Bitcoin, but let's not forget there's a whole world of other crypto trends beyond just that. Where should we go next? Feels like we're seeing all these little sub-trends kind of popping up, almost like they're reacting to the market being uncertain.
Yeah, it is like watching a complex ecosystem evolve in real time. Certain niches are going to thrive even when the broader environment's challenging.
And NFTs are a perfect example of that. We're seeing this surge in NFT sales even as Bitcoin and the wider crypto market are struggling.
It is interesting how NFTs went through that initial boom, then cooled off a bit, and now they're back with, renewed momentum, even in a bear market. Really shows how NFTs aren't just about speculation.
For sure. When you buy an NFT, you're buying a unique digital asset. Often comes with a strong community and cultural significance.
Right, like pudgy penguins, for example. Their values jumped over 80% recently. That kind of performance in this market shows you the power of strong NFT projects.
It's a good reminder that crypto is diverse. There's always something interesting happening, even if Bitcoin's hogging the headlines.
Exactly. Speaking of interesting things happening under the surface, let's talk about the growing interest in AI-driven crypto projects.
Okay, yeah, this is where things start to feel really futuristic. Give us the rundown. How is AI being used in crypto?
Well, you're seeing AI being used to optimize trading algorithms, make them more efficient and potentially more profitable. Also seeing the development of AI-powered platforms for decentralized finance, like lending and borrowing. These platforms can actually assess risk and manage funds autonomously.
And then there are the projects using AI to create new digital art and collectibles. Blurs the line between technology and creative expression.
It really does.
It's pretty exciting to see how these two powerful technologies are converging. Opens up so many possibilities. But what does it mean for the average person? Why should they care about AI-driven crypto?
Well, think of it this way. AI has the potential to address some of the things that have held crypto back. Things like scalability, security, and user experience. AI can make crypto more accessible, more user-friendly, and ultimately more useful for everyday life.
So AI could be the key to taking crypto mainstream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're still in the early stages, but this fusion of AI and crypto is definitely something to watch closely.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Now let's shift gears to something a little less flashy than AI or NFTs, but super important for the crypto ecosystem. Stablecoins.
Yeah, stablecoins might not be as exciting to talk about, but they're essential. They're like a bridge between the traditional financial system and the crypto world.
They're designed to maintain a stable value, often pegged to a fiat currency like the US dollar. Makes them less volatile than other cryptocurrencies and more useful for things like everyday transactions.
Exactly. And as crypto becomes more integrated into daily life, stablecoins are going to play a bigger and bigger role. Predictions are saying the stablecoin market's going to see substantial growth in the coming years.
Makes sense. They offer the stability of fiat currency and the efficiency and security of blockchain technology.
Right, and this bridge between traditional finance and crypto is becoming even more important as more and more companies express interest in crypto. We already talked about Meta and the pressure they're facing from shareholders to add Bitcoin to their corporate treasury.
Yeah, and Meta isn't alone. What are some other examples of big companies getting into crypto?
We're seeing companies like Microsoft, PayPal, even Tesla, exploring ways to incorporate crypto. Microsoft's using blockchain for identity verification. PayPal lets users buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrencies. And Tesla famously invested in Bitcoin and even accepted it as payment for a while.
It's a sign that the corporate world is starting to see crypto's potential.
Absolutely. And it raises some interesting questions, like how will traditional financial institutions like Jamie Dimon's JPMorgan Chase adapt?
Especially with the incoming Trump administration and the potential for a more crypto-friendly regulatory environment.
It'll be fascinating to see how those institutions respond.
Yeah.
Will they embrace the change or resist it?
It's like this huge shift in the financial landscape is happening, and crypto's right at the center of it all. Such a dynamic time.
Absolutely. Full of potential and uncertainty. That's what makes it so fascinating.
So we've covered a lot of ground, from Bitcoin's roller coaster ride to the rise of NFTs and AI. What are the key takeaways you want our listeners to remember from all this?
I think the main thing is that the crypto market, while volatile, is full of opportunities. There are risks, of course, but for those who do their research and are strategic, the potential rewards can be huge.
Right, and we've seen that even with all the uncertainty, some parts of the crypto world, like NFTs, can really take off. You've also seen how new tech, like AI, is being used in crypto and could totally change how we interact with it.
And we can't forget the important role stablecoins are playing, bridging the gap between traditional finance and crypto. They're a key part of crypto going mainstream.
It's clear the crypto world's changing fast and having a huge impact on finance.
And for those who are willing to learn and adapt, it's full of possibilities.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, we really need to talk about the risks of the crypto market. It's the elephant in the room. Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and all, but we can't ignore the fact that it's still a relatively new and often unregulated space.
Absolutely. You have to remember that and approach it with some caution.
For sure. We've talked about some of those common scams, things like Ponzi schemes, fake ICOs, phishing attacks, pump and dumps, just a few examples of how people try to take advantage of those who are new to crypto.
And it's not even just scams. The market itself is volatile. Prices can swing wildly, and you have to be prepared for some losses, especially if you're, venturing into those more speculative areas.
Exactly. So before you jump in, Do your research, understand the risks, and only invest what you can afford to lose. Don't let FOMO cloud your judgment.
Really good advice.
That's
It's easy to get caught up in the hype when you hear those stories of people getting rich overnight. But remember, those are the exceptions, not the rule. Approach crypto with a level head and be skeptical if something sounds too good to be true.
And never base your investment decisions solely on someone else's advice, even if it comes from a source you trust. Always do your own research. Consult with a financial professional if you need to, and make informed decisions based on your own risk tolerance and financial goals.
That's how you navigate the crypto world successfully. It's not about getting rich quick or following trends. It's about understanding the tech, assessing the risks, and making smart choices for your long-term financial well-being.
So we've talked about the risks, but let's not end on a downer. Despite the challenges, the crypto world is full of innovation and potential. It's pushing the boundaries of tech and finance in ways we couldn't have imagined just a few years ago.
Yeah, and the cool thing is it's accessible to anyone willing to learn. There are so many resources out there. Websites, forums, meetups, conferences. You can connect with others and learn so much.
So if you're curious about crypto, don't be intimidated. Dive in, do your research, and discover the possibilities.
Exactly. And remember, it's constantly evolving. So you got to keep learning. What's true today might not be true tomorrow. Stay curious and adaptable.
So we've taken you on this deep dive into crypto. We've looked at Bitcoin, examined the trends shaping the market, and talked about the risks and opportunities that come with this new tech. But as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, you're listening.
We've covered a lot. Technical analysis, market trends, the regulatory landscape. But in the midst of all the data and predictions, it's easy to forget one thing: crypto at its heart is about people.
That's a great point. We get lost in the technical stuff, but ultimately, crypto is a tool to empower people, build communities, and create a more inclusive financial system.
Exactly. Technology is powerful, but it's here to serve humanity. And crypto, in its most idealistic form, is a vision of a future where tech empowers us all and helps build a more just and equitable world.
It's a vision worth working towards.
So as you explore crypto, keep that vision in mind. Let it guide your decisions, inspire you, and fuel your passion. And don't forget to have fun. The crypto world is full of surprises, challenges, and rewards. Embrace the journey and see where it takes you.
Happy exploring.
And that's a wrap for our deep dive into cryptocurrency. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in this exciting and ever-changing world.